at Quail Glen. I'm here today because our children are being harmed, and you have the power to end it if you are willing to stand up and exercise it. In my opinion, to the extent you are making or enforcing policies which affect the health of our children, you and I and all of us should be bound by the same oath physicians take, which is first, do no harm. And that's what I'm asking you for today. I'm going to have to cut through a lot of my comments, but I have given you written comments here so you can also read them. I believe that you understand the harm that the masks are doing, and I believe that you also understand that parents and not politicians should be in charge of our children's health questions. Right now, our children need your help desperately. They need to be freed from the social and emotional chains that these masks impose on them. I don't know of any civilized society which knowingly sacrifices the well-being of its children for the needs of the elderly, or even worse, for special interest groups or politicians. I know that we can do better. I know that we know better. So the bottom line is, I'm here to plead with you to do your jobs. These children need heroes. Please find a way to be their heroes.
Yes, so Danielle's taking the podium, and I would like to also invite Ashlyn, Aubrey, and Allison Carruthers to come stand over here ready to take the podium next.
My name is Danielle Savelli. I've been a nurse for 16 years. I have 3 children. My daughter's in 7th grade at Silverado. My sons are at Quail Glen. My son is in 5th grade and one is in 1st. My 1st grader has been in a mask ever since he's been back at school in kindergarten. He has speech issues now. His M's and his N's, he cannot differentiate, and the F and the TH, he can't differentiate. You know why? Because you have to see somebody's mouth move. This is ridiculous. I am a nurse. I back science. I have all my elderly grandparents vaccinated. I'm not against any of this, but there needs to be mask and vaccine choice. I'm not waiting till the 28th to unmask my children. Give them a choice. The ones who want to wear a mask. It doesn't help. You need an N95 to be in a COVID room, and you need to be fit tested. I know that personally. I am begging you to listen to me and not give me another generic email to email the governor. I have emailed the governor. I've emailed Placer County. I've emailed everyone. Nobody's doing anything. You can do something. There are 6 districts that are doing something about it, and you're not. Yeah.
Teachers. Aubrey, do you want to say it? I'm having trouble making friends, and I try to smile at them, and they can't tell what I'm doing. And I'm trying to listen to my teacher. She keeps on telling everybody in the class, "You're not listening to me. If you were listening, then you'd know what to do." I do listen, but I just can't hear.
No. I have a kid in my class who has a mask exemption, and he's exiled from the classroom. He's put in the back, and he raises his hand for every single question, and he's never called on every single day. And in class, he's treated like he's just put in the corner. He's just there. And then at lunch and at recess, he's welcomed into the community that we have at Quail Glen. And just the fact that he's exiled like that, it's not okay. I ask you, please, 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 please.
higher educational community with the ultimate accountability resting with the board as a basic embodiment of representative government. Bylaw 9000, role of the board shall ensure that the district is responsive to the values, beliefs, and priorities of the community. Yes. We are the community. These children are your community. Yes. Providing community leadership and advocacy on behalf of the students. Number 5, let me repeat. Providing community leadership and advocacy on behalf of the students. Yes. The students that you see here tonight and are speaking to you are the faces of the brave students who can come here and talk to you. And they're representing all the scared ones at home that you guys are continually choosing to do emotional and social abuse on our children. And I beg you to please have it stop.
So we have Krista taking the podium and then Stephanie below next.
Hi, my name is Krista Clark. I have, like Kimber, I've emailed you guys day in and day out for months and months and months. I'm tired of the canned responses. I have 3 children at Kellogg Elementary. I have a 4th grader whose last normal year was when he was in 1st grade. My 3rd grader's last normal year was in kindergarten. I also have a kindergartner whose last normal year was never. You guys have the power to change that. I'll make this short and sweet. You were elected to represent the children of Dry Creek. You are on this board to be their voices. It's time to take a stand. It's time to say no more. The time is now. We're pleading with you to stand with us. Stand with us. You represent us. You're here for us. If you won't stand up with the students you represent, we're coming for your board seats. If San Francisco can do it,
Jeff, what we're fixing, yeah, the live stream went down.
Oh, thank
We
you.
want to make sure it goes out through. And yeah, you'll have your full time, absolutely.
All right, in the beginning I was coming here a little bit concerned about the kids wearing the mask. We didn't really know the implications. Now it's dire. These kids are suffering mentally. My daughter normally has a love for learning and is excited to go to school, and now she's moved on to being dreadful, fearful, and crying every morning.
Yeah.
That's not nice.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll start over. So anyway, in the beginning I was a little concerned about kids wearing the mask. Now I'm very concerned. It's a dire emergency. Our kids are suffering mentally. My daughter has always loved school, and in a short time she went from excitement and love to dread, fear, and crying most mornings because she doesn't want to go to school and wear a mask. We aren't scared of the virus. We are scared of the short-term and long-term mental and physical health implications that wearing a mask are causing. I saw this quote a few weeks ago and it really hit home. I don't know who to give credit to, and I have to paraphrase due to language, but it says, "Kids are resilient," is one of the most absurd lines to come out of the pandemic. If kids are so resilient, why do we have generations of adults still talking about childhood trauma? Kids are vulnerable. Their mental health is just easiest to ignore.
Yes.
Well, I think afford me
keep
the
going.
opportunity to finish. She's not the only one suffering. We cannot ignore it any longer. As parents, we're not here for power or money. We want what's best for our children. And you guys have the power to change it. Stand with us.
emailed you guys. You have all my information a few times. My name is Tim Peters. While I do not currently have any children in the Dry Creek School District, both of my boys have attended Quail Glen and Silverado. My oldest son graduated Wood Creek in 2019, which happened to be the last real year of school. My younger son is a junior at Wood Creek. I have been heavily involved with Wood Creek Little League for 13 years. I was on the board. Roseville Soccer, I'm here for the kids. I'm speaking for these little guys. The other night I spoke at the Roseville High School meeting in which they were granted us mass choice. At the time, there were 4 board members that chose not to wear a mask, and there was others that chose to wear a mask. And that was their right to choose. You guys aren't wearing your mask. You guys have chose to wear your mask, even though the indoor mandate is off. The president, Diane Howe, I saw her mess with her mask. It was underneath her nose. It is what it is. But that's their choice. Why do you guys get to make the choice for other parents? Let me make my choice for my kids. At the beginning, we were told that we had to save and protect the teachers. There are vaccines out and teachers can take those. They can wear their masks. These kids don't need to. Unmask the kids.
The podium is yours, and next on deck would be Adam Roberts.
My name is Evelyn, and I am 8 years old, and I am in 2nd grade at Quail Glen. I have never had a normal year in school since TK. I've been forced to learn from home, watch glitchy Zooms, and now constantly wear a mask. I've even been forced to stay home because someone else got sick. School isn't how I thought it would be. I don't like to go anymore because I have to wear a mask. Please stop forcing kids to wear a mask. It makes me tired at school and not ready to learn. It makes it hard to make friends. It's hard to tell people if I'm happy, sad, or mad. It's hard to understand my teacher. It's not helping me. It's making things worse. I'm frustrated because I know that masks don't even work to stop people from getting COVID. A lot of time is wasted in school for my teacher telling kids to wear their mask instead of teaching. I don't need a mask to stay safe. I'm not a threat to anyone. I'm just an 8-year-old girl wanting a normal life. Please stop the mandates.
Thank you very much for sharing that. Thank you.
Leslie Jones, you're on deck.
Hello board, my name is Adam Roberts. I have a son at Wood Creek that he did attend County Racing, Silverado Middle School, so I'm here to support these kids. You have a local law enforcement that's not going to support the mask mandate. You have other local school boards who have decided to not enforce the mask mandate. If you decide to do what's right, you won't be the first. You have the vast majority of parents here that are pro-mask choice. It's time for you to do what's right. If you don't, you will know that you're following the money and that you're doing this to abuse our children. And there's a special place for you if you decide that. I also wanted to present you with a little bit of data as well. If you pay attention to the Placer County Health Department's dashboard, the data was updated yesterday. As of yesterday, 52% of the cases, of COVID cases in the hospital are vaccinated. These are people in the hospital due to COVID. 52% of them are vaccinated. So this is not a vaccine. This is not science. We know that masks don't work. That's all I gotta say.
Leslie Jones, you're up, and Kayla Bonin.
Good evening, I am Leslie Jones. I am invoking my 3-minute constitutional right to speak to all of you. I want to start by saying that I'm not here to beg for anything. I am not here to tell you anything except, especially you, Diane, that you're a public servant. You are all public servants. I don't know if anybody has told you that, but that is what you are. You are paid with tax dollars. So let's put this into perspective. You work for these people. They don't work for you. You don't make calls for them. So that is now established. What else needs to be established is that you have exchanged their children's freedoms for COVID cash. We know why you want to keep this going. You get money, the longer it goes.
Yep.
So, with that said, I want to come over to the Constitution. This is cute little book. You can get your own. Seems to me that some of you need to familiarize yourself with it. The 10th Amendment. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. Well, it's the people who are in charge, and they're in charge of their children. And I'm here to tell you that this morning, Buckeye Union School District, Rescue Union School District in El Dorado County dropped their mandates for their elementary and middle school kids. Why? I'm going to tell you why. Because they had a parent that sent their kid to school unmasked. No, Diane, it's not your turn. Unmasked. And they were afraid of I'm not using any vulgarity, you will listen. They were afraid of a lawsuit.
You are using your time.
Let her talk! They were afraid of a lawsuit, and they buckled, because you know you're wrong. Diane, your greed needs to go in your pocket and stay in your mask for right now.
My name is Mark. This is my daughter Kayla. She's 6. She goes to Quail Glen. We originally came here to observe and listen. And when we told Kayla that we were coming, what we were coming to do today, she had some things she started writing down. We helped her with the spelling, but she would like to go ahead and read that today. See when my friends smile. My teacher can't hear me. I can't hear my teacher. My teacher can't see when I smile. I don't like masks. Please don't make me wear a mask anymore. Kayla.
Hey everybody, my name's Cody. I'm a father of 2 children at Coyote Ridge. I've sent probably about 15 articles to Gina about the efficacy of masking, and it's just, the articles are refuting masking, to be honest. The hypocrisy that we see with our government officials not wearing masks and then forcing kids to mask in school is just, it's terrible to see. I've got a couple pictures that I want to show everybody. As you can see here, right there, as everybody knows, our governor. And then of course, the director of education, Jesse Aguilar. If they're going to opt out, our kids should have the ability to opt out. Freedom of choice with everything. Freedom of choice. Freedom.
America.
Now, Roseville Unified, you know, we all know what they've done. You guys can do it too. I ask that you guys stand with us, everybody. You guys can do this. Let's get rid of the mask tonight. Tonight.
After Corey, Rochelle is on deck.
Good evening. I'm going to talk about something completely different. Sorry. I just wanted to update you. Some great things are happening at Creepy Ranch Middle School, and explain to you some of the amazing things I've seen last week. Last week we held our first outdoor activity with the students. It was amazing to see the middle school students running around, playing, having a great time. And I want to thank our supportive administration and our supportive PTA because they provided music. We actually had an 8th grade DJ going on out there. We had cornhole, ladder ball, foosball, photo booth. And I want to end with a really cool thing I saw. I saw a group of middle school students dancing on the stage. And they were all in a big group, and as a teacher, I kind of got a little like, is something wrong there? I walked over and I saw about a dozen middle school students dancing around with a special ed kid. It was amazing to see them supportive, they were kind, they were thoughtful, and that's what a middle school student should be in our district. And I appreciate our administration and supporting that, so thank you.
Michelle, the podium is yours, and next is Sheila.
Hi, my name is Rochelle Itamaru. I came in for the first meeting of the year, and all of you told us that you were mass choice. I'm sure all of you have also reaped the benefits of living in Placer County and then also not enforcing masks. We've all walked into restaurants and grocery stores, yet our children all day long are asked to mask. Now I have to ask you, if masking mandates aren't working, then why aren't masking mandates working? We've reached out to other school districts. We've sent you the literature to ask you to adopt the language. Yet, and what I'm sensing is that you're scared to adopt that language. Have you at least reached out to their council and reached out to them and said, how are you doing this? You said you reached out to legal counsel and it wasn't possible. We are seeing now it is possible, and you can do it. Our students, if they choose to unmask, they are invited into independent study. With 31% rise in students with suicidal thoughts, is that really what you want to do? You want to isolate them? We're asking you guys to make a chance and make a move with us. We will stand with you. Please adopt new language to give my kindergartner the opportunity to breathe.
I just want to say, you kids rock. I'm so I'm Sheila Drum. I'm a mother, grandmother, teacher. Bravo to the teachers. Bravo to the teachers. Amen. I'm going to talk about money. So the feds had a whole lot of COVID funding, and it was like an Oprah show. You get $1 million, you get $1 million, you get $1 million, and everybody got millions. And guess what? You just stood silent because you got the millions. Dry Creek, 3.4 million, and then another 7.9 million, and the money kept coming in. And what is attached to the money? There's always something. The strings, right? So this is it. Universal and correct wearing of masks. Got to do that. Contact tracing in combination with isolation and quarantine. You got to do that. Diagnostic and screening tests, don't know what that means, but you got to do it. Efforts to provide vaccination to school communities. So, I don't have any time, but I'm going to close by reciting a poem I wrote in homage to Dr. Seuss. Is he still canceled? I'm not sure. Wear a mask, you may ask, not for them, for they bask in the sun, the salon, football games. Masks are lame. Rules for they, not for me, while I dine French laundry. Who cares for the child who's now meek and mild? You care nothing for they who suffer each day. Fauci, Biden, Newsom, oh my, they fed us with lie after lie after lie. We say no to the mandates, edicts, and rules. We say give us the choice. It's our kids, our schools. God bless America.
Can you tell she's a teacher? She's a damn good one, too. I'd like to take a minute to discuss something that is not being sufficiently addressed in this district, and that is bullying. And I mean bullying as it relates to mask choice and vaccine. I'm not just talking about bullying between students, although that is rampant. I mean, because it's implicitly condoned by many teachers. But the bullying by teachers of their students who struggle to wear those ridiculous masks every moment of every day. It's abusive. I hope you're watching the live streams of all the other board meetings and these wonderful children getting up and talking about their despair. This is heartbreaking. As a teacher, a credentialed teacher of 20 years, it's breaking my heart what we're doing to kids. This isn't okay in education. And lastly, you better get on top of something else. It's the climate of bullying and intimidation between teachers, and between teachers and staff, and between staff and the district. And the divide between the staff is in the intimidation and the harassment and the hostile work environment of so many employees. You have them scared to speak out. You've made them scared to speak out. We know what's going on with the teachers and how scared they are and how intimidated they are. Washington, D.C. isn't going to heal us. It's not going to get us through this pandemic where we can come together. You guys are local government. You're the closest thing we have to help. Do it now and enforce mask.
This district was one of the first districts to open its doors to in-person learning, to bring normalcy, and you did so successfully and safely. However, the mask that these children are being forced to wear is not normal, and we're asking that you give the same normalcy you intended when you opened your doors last school year. You've been taking instructions from the governor and from the CTA, and neither of these governing forces are following their own rules. We have seen Governor Newsom and the director of the CTA, Jesse Aguilar, both at SoFi Stadium, enjoying a football game with 70,000 strangers maskless. It is time that we allow our children the same right. This is a mask mandate, and mandates are not laws, but simply a guidance. And both Placer and Sacramento counties have removed their mask mandates. The majority of the students are not even wearing them correctly, and they're wearing the same dirty mask each day, and it's not healthy. There's also a significant learning loss when students are wearing the masks. The students are difficult to understand. They cannot hear their teachers, and I just have another segment. And the teachers are constantly telling kids, pull your mask up, and it's learning loss with that. And I'm just asking you, please, for the students, let them have the choice.
My name is Kimberly, and I have a son that goes to Wood Creek, and my daughter goes to Copeland. First, let me just say, after they removed the mask mandates at Wood Creek, my son is a completely different person this week. Her name is JC, and she's in the 2nd grade, and this is what she wrote. It's not fair that we have to wear a mask in a classroom of 24 people, and that we have to sit in a lunchroom with about 100 people not wearing masks. We can't breathe. It's time that you give us a choice to wear a mask or not wear a mask. After recess, my face is always hot. Under the mask, I get one little breath when I take it down for 5 seconds. Wearing a mask is not necessary because every single second of your life, you can't worry about breathing in germs. Because if you are wearing a mask or not wearing a mask, you can still catch COVID. It really makes me sad going in the classroom and every single person is wearing a mask. I remember in TK and a little of my kindergarten year when no one was wearing a mask. I really miss those days. Please let us choose if we want to wear a mask or not.
Casey, thank you for sharing that.
Speaking after Joshua is Braden and Brielle Smith.
Hi, I'm Josh Vaughn. I have a child who's in first grade at Quailland. He, last time he had a normal school year was actually in preschool, completely different school. That school has a mask choice. Those children know what it's like to socialize with other kids and be able to see their lips and read, to be able to understand them when they're speaking. My child has been slowly going downhill. He had kindergarten with masks. all the time. First grade, now he is suffering from anxiety. He's actually been diagnosed with an anxiety disorder that has been brought on by all the pandemic and all of the masks that are forced on him, and all of the narrative of people are bad, social distance, don't be next to people. That is making it difficult for him to actually be able to learn in his school setting. That is one thing I wanted to address. Another thing is the legal risk. I understand you guys are in a tough position. You don't want to be open to a lawsuit. And I know that your legal counsel is not as robust as Roseville Joint Union High School District. I understand that. You guys need to seek legal counsel and figure out how they are able to enforce mass choice and be able to enforce it here at Dry Creek School District as well. And lastly, I want to speak to people who actually wear a mask because they have an at-risk person in their life. I totally understand that there are people who are at risk of catching COVID and having a severe symptoms. Thank you for your time. But I do want to give people resources. There are treatments for COVID and have a plan in place if you have somebody who is at risk in your life. You can wear masks. It's optional. It will be optional after you guys get this on the agenda for the next meeting and actually pass it. You guys don't understand because of the legal proceedings they actually have to.
No, they
don't.
They can change the language, they cannot enforce it.
I'm not disagreeing with you guys. I don't totally want to tonight. But I'm telling people that there are treatments out there for COVID besides going to the hospital.
Sir, your time is up.
Okay. Yes.
After Brayden Braille, we have Brittany Clement.
Hi, I'm Brielle, and I'm telling you that we should have a choice if we want to wear a mask or not. Because everyone in my class, if they sneeze or cough, they take off their mask, and it doesn't do anything. And also, children are at no severe risk from COVID, yet our teachers are teaching us daily to be all afraid of each other without a mask. I want to go to school and walk into my classroom without everybody telling me to wear a mask over my nose and my chin. So, I don't know about you, but I don't want to wear a mask.
Good girl.
My name is Brayden, and today I will be telling everyone why I think that masks shouldn't be mandated. Today, we are all here for the same thing, to stop the mask mandate. So why are the masks so bad? Last year, I got a horrible migraine. Eventually, it got to the point that I had to throw up multiple times. So I had had enough. We went to the doctors, and it turned out that I had CO2 poisoning.
Oh my God.
And it isn't just me who's suffering. Kindergartners also suffer. In kindergarten, you are supposed to learn how to read, but they can't read because they can't hear their teachers through the mask. On top of that, adults are allowed to go to baseball games without wearing masks, and they are more likely to get COVID than we are. One of my teachers that won't be named has a microphone and a speaker so that she will be able to talk to us. And if you go to a friend's house or a barbecue, will you wear a mask? I should know. And that they are just annoying in general. So if you hate masks just as much as I do, vote no to masks.
Brielle, Braden, thank you. That was great. Appreciate you sharing.
Hi, I'm Brittany Cunha, mom of 5. I have 4 in the Dry Creek School District. Our children's lives and education have been ruined the past 2 years. They have been abused, belittled, bullied, embarrassed, and mistreated at school and by their teachers. They are scared to stand up for themselves. Many schools have taken action and made masks a choice. Emails and calls do nothing. You guys know that, and we know that. There is no response. Easton, he wanted me to speak for him. That's my 5-year-old in TK. One day I dropped him off at school, and his teacher said, put on your mask, right when we walked in the door. He immediately started bawling and said, Mom, she always yells at me to wear my mask. Also, when I was in there, she told the entire class that they have to get the shot to keep their friends safe. To keep their friends safe. Okay?
Then it doesn't work.
So Benton, my 8-year-old in 3rd grade, let me go ahead and speak for him. He was singled out, yelled at by his PE teacher, and told to stand next to the wall until he could wear his mask properly while he was running around in the multi-purpose room. Caden, I want to speak for my 10-year-old who is in 4th grade at Quail Glen. He's harassed every single day by his teacher and told to pull up his mask. And he wanted me to tell you, quote unquote, masks suck, I hate them, they give me bloody noses and headaches. Oh yeah, and his class closed. Aren't masks supposed to work? His entire class was closed because everybody had COVID. What is that? And then Danton, my 14-year-old over at Silverado Middle School, he also wanted me to speak for him. And he said, I get yelled at every day from my science teacher to put my mask over my nose. My mask only goes down in her class when I'm trying to check my work with my classmates and yawning because she's so boring. Most of my other teachers are fine with my mask being under my nose, so why should I have to wear it at all? Thank you for your time.
I'm sorry, I missed your name both coming in and just now. Can I Michelle, thank you.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm in Roseville. I have 2 girls in Heritage Oak Elementary School. They are too scared to speak up to you guys, to their teachers, to their friends. So I asked them to write some letters, and their friends next door neighbor did as well. So this is from my 4th grader. I don't like masks because they make me not be able to breathe, and masks don't even work. Also, when kids get COVID, they get minor symptoms. Like when I got COVID a while back, I didn't think I had COVID because my body just felt a little achy and I had a little headache. In conclusion, I think masks are useless. Love, a 4th grade student. Charlotte, my 1st grader. Dear board, I do not like masks. The other day, I told my teacher about how we shouldn't wear masks. She was threatened to be sent to the office if she didn't want to wear masks to her school. I don't like masks because it's hard to hear people talk and it's hard to breathe. I hate masks. Another 4th grade, our neighbor. I don't like masks because they're really hard to breathe in and they're also very uncomfortable. And anyways, they have holes in them, so they don't even work. Plus, kids are the least likely to get exposed to COVID, and even if they get COVID, they barely get any symptoms. Finally, I think masks are useless. Love, a 4th grade student. In conclusion, I do want to say that I've been hearing a lot, well, kids are used to it, it's no big deal, kids are used to it. That's the point. They should never have gotten used to it.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Jillian, you have Kimberly Steedlick.
So I'm Jillian Penny. I actually have a question. If anybody can answer, when is the mask mandate going away?
Today.
Anyone? Hold on. I want to hear from them. When is this ending? Do we have a date? Why don't we have a date?
Because something got it.
No, it's not.
They said it's local. We get to decide.
All right. Listen. What do we got to do collectively to get this to stop?
Send your kid to school unmasked.
Be defiant? Is that what we're supposed to do? Yeah. Is there any way that you guys can pull some strings and vote and grow a pair of balls to do Anyone? Scott? Anyone? Why can other districts do it? Exactly. How come y'all can't just vote on releasing the mask mandate? So I'm actually going to give you this letter. It's from an attorney that's supporting the Children's Health Defense Attorney. There's some really great stuff in here. And a lot of the exhibits, there's about 50 pages that show all of the people not wearing masks at all the football games and all the sporting events. So I'm gonna give this to y'all to read, but I also just wanna let you know that we are not in a state of emergency anymore if we're hosting the Super Bowl in LA!
Just so you're not confused, Diane, I'm Kimberly, so.
So Kimberly, after Kimberly speaks, we have Shadra.
It's okay. All right, so let me cut the first part out. Pretty much, you guys are afraid. That's what this has come down to. You guys are afraid of our government and the repercussions that you may face if you go against the rules. Funny though that our own governor, as other people have said, has no problem going against the rules that he's put in place. When will our district realize that the money is not as important as our kids?
Amen. Amen.
It seems as though each day there are new announcements, as everyone has said, that local school districts and others across the country are stepping up and saying enough is enough. They're allowing parents to choose what's best for their children when it comes to masks. And I respect those that feel that masks are safer. I don't feel that way, and I would like the opportunity to choose what's best for my kids. I don't trust the government to say that they'll reevaluate the mask mandate at the end of the month. We know how that goes. It'll probably be pushed to the end of the school year, if not further. As again, others have said, if 70,000 strangers can gather together at the Super Bowl unmasked, surely my 7-year-old can gather with the same 23 kids that he's met with for the last 6 months and not have any issues. Please don't tell me to contact the governor or my representatives. That doesn't work. As others have said, the time is now for the Dry Creek Joint Elementary School District to stand up, to corrupt Sacramento, and say no to the mandate. In closing, a quote from Dale Carnegie says, "Inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit at home and think about it. Go out and do it." These parents behind me are standing up and going out and doing it, and I ask you to do the same thing.
Shadra, I'd like to invite Mason.
A friend once told me, if you want to change your life, change your perspective. Every person and every ethnicity, no matter where you're from, has been privy to discrimination, bullying, and segregation. But here we are doing this to our children, and we think that it's okay. Our children are hurting, they're suffering, they're being bullied into something against their will that puts their health in danger under coercion and duress from adults and administrators who don't align with their beliefs that they learn at home. These children throughout America are scared to death to stand up for themselves regarding these masks because they're being bullied and giving ultimatums to mask up and go back to class or go to the principal's office. Studies have shown the ineffectiveness of masks, and after 2 emergency years, there are more studies showing stifling learning and increasing illness associated with wearing masks. School administrations have continued to bully children into wearing masks and get in trouble against medical, emotional, physical issues these children may be experiencing at this moment. Many of these children are scared to death that they may have a panic attack, have to comply, or get in trouble. Most of these are good children who don't understand why they're being punished and have never been to a principal's office. At what point in this emergency is enough for when we have to stop to choose between mental health over physical health over educational rights? If you don't agree with me, then you will be silenced is not American. Contrary to popular belief, Americans are used to being bullied, and at the end of it, we as Americans come out stronger, better, smarter, and top up every time. We work together, we help each other up, we listen to the problems to try to make things better. This should also be the motto of the administrators and teachers teaching our youth. These basic principles of being good, doing what's right, and helping people out. Science tells us that we are all different, and only giving one solution to a problem when it's clearly not effective and does more to harm our children than good. Stop bullying the children, be a good person, help out our youth, and teach them to be better adults. Please unmask the children and give parents the right to choose.
After Mason, we have Tessa.
Hello, my name is Mason. I have to go to school every day and wear a mask. It's so uncomfortable. Being forced to wear a mask sucks. It is so hard to focus with a mask on. It's hard to hear my teacher and other classmates during not a good thing to keep breathing in the same air over and over again. My science teacher even told us in class that it's not good to breathe in carbon dioxide. But when we have to do it for over 6 hours a day. When I asked her why, she said it's to protect us from the virus. For our age group, we are the least likely to get sick. So why are we having to breathe in our own breath if we aren't even in danger? If you think it's right to wear a mask, then you should wear them. At least let the people who don't want to wear a mask have the option to not wear one.
Mason, thanks for sharing that.
All right, after Tessa, we have Ella.
Before I start speaking, I want to thank everyone who spoke already. And have you ever wondered if the government wears masks? Well, guess what? Gavin Newsom doesn't, so why do we have to? Hi, I'm Tessa Nickerson, and if you're wondering how I know this, it's because of my awesome dad, Tim. Masks are for it. They make it so you can't see facial expressions, and we have to wear them to 5 to 6 hours a day. Multiple studies have shown that masks are ineffective against COVID, and even the CDC has said this. This is no longer about science. Please let us have our freedoms back and let us breathe. I want you to see my smile.
The other day, 2 days ago, I received a phone call from this very school, Mr. Alberti, the principal, saying my daughter needs to go home because she refuses to wear her mask today. And he says, do you want to talk to her as if I'm going to silence my daughter? It's her choice. It's her choice. We still even did the Pledge of Allegiance. Did you hear that erupt when we did it? We are American and not communists.
Next is Sarah Keith.
Hi, my name is Olivia, and it's actually perfect timing for me to go right after me, because 26 years ago, my parents brought me from the USSR, communist, to have our freedoms. And now I have a daughter who's 6 years old, will be 7, first grade at Quail Glen, and she comes upset every day telling me that some of her teachers tell her that the only way she can take off her mask is if she gets a COVID shot. And it's upsetting to see all these kids and all these parents out here with the same mentality, saying that our freedoms are taken away from our children and they don't have the freedoms anymore. Please give our children our freedom back. They deserve it.
Hi, my name's Sarah Keith. I have 6 kids, 4 of them at 2 at Quail Glen, 2 at Silverado, and we are just asking for a choice. My kids come home every day. One is terrified to ever pull her mask on the whole day. She has zits and scars, and she's terrified. The other one is like constantly being yelled at by his teachers because it falls under his nose. Mom, she yelled at me. I was so embarrassed today because I took a drink of water and didn't pull it up like the second I was done. I just feel so bad. They're so excited to go to school, and then they come home like, ugh, I had to wear this all day. My other, like, it's hard to breathe, and I feel like I'm gonna faint, but I don't dare pull it down because I'm gonna get yelled at. I don't know what to do. It just pains me. But I'm like, should we just homeschool? Like, is it worth going to school for this? But then they love seeing their friends. They need that time to be there at school. There's been so many other schools that are doing this. I come from a very big family. My husband has, we have family all over the States. None of their kids have to wear masks to school. We are one of 5 states out of 50 that have to wear them, and many districts aren't. And my last thing is my kids are in the play at Silverado. They're so excited. They have to wear K95s in the play. Oh, no. I'm like, come on. Please give us a choice.
Everyone keeps kicking the can back onto the insurance companies dropping them. I had the pleasure of sitting in on a sick call a couple of days ago. I learned something kind of interesting. Jeffrey Tooker is the Deputy Superintendent of Education Services for Placer Union High School District. Brad Tooker, Superintendent, Tri Creek Joint Elementary School District. Brad Tooker, Schools Insurance Group Executive Committee. Maybe a little bit of conflict of interest. I don't know about that stuff. I do know that 7 schools so far have given their students mask choice. I know it can be done. I also was wondering, how does the CDPH, who is not an elected body, nor the CTA, how do they suppose they're going to take the teaching credentials away from teachers who support students who do not wish to wear a mask in their classes? Don't weaponize teachers. It's a really bad look. Thank you.
Okay, can you guys hear me? No. Can you hear me? No. Can you hear me? No. So I hope I brought.
It works for
Because this is what this is doing to me and my children. It's muffling us. It's causing breathing issues, and we're putting germs in their body. You want to put this on? No? How about you, Chair? Would you like to put this on?
Oh.
No. Would you like to put this on? Because you are ingesting, you are breathing in over 10,000 dangerous bacteria germs into your body. Every time you take your mask off and you put it back on. Hi, my name is Sharina Latch. I'm a retired lab assistant. I worked for labs for over 20 years. And these are my children. They're awesome, by the way. Huh? 3 years ago, my son was bullied at one of your schools here, at this district. Bullied. He was slapped in the face, degraded, and told that he was bad. You know what they did? Counseling. My son never, ever got justice. The school swept it away. Swept it away. Like it didn't matter. Like my son didn't have a voice. You guys have a chance. You guys have a chance today to stand up for children like this. To stand up for all of these children in here.
And at home.
And make the bullying stop now. We do not bully our children. The virus is less than 0%, 0% of deaths in the United States, the whole United States. Don't you think you're overreacting? Just a little? It's time to let this go.
Yes.
If this man can walk around without a mask and he's our governor, these children deserve the same. This ends. Thank you. Go ahead and say something, son.
Don't
Will you address anything?
Cannot do anything at this meeting.
When?
Special meeting.
Right after this.
Can we do it tomorrow?
Gina.
Money. Money.
Yep, I agree.
But you have the chance to not leave.
We need something.
7 districts.
They're gonna adjourn for 5 minutes.
You guys don't change it. We will.
You're out of order.
So we need to continue on with the agenda of the meeting. The next item on the agenda is the consent.
God bless Wonder.
When do we get a letter from the district saying our kids have bad choice?
Will you address any other
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
All in favor of mass choice? Aye.
Because they don't want
without masks on and stand up for them throughout the whole day. I have a child in first grade. It's hard for her to stand up for herself.
I'm saying, you go with her. Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Check us out, man. I think you fit right in. Got too much to lose. I can't go pick people up, man.